Ease your thoughts. Ease any tension in your body. Release it. Let it go. Release that. Release that. And release that. And begin to move whatever needs to be moved within you energetically. Inhaling and exhaling and going at your own flow. I'm going to get a candle and I'm going to light it and use cinnamon to cleanse away anything that needs to be removed. So okay. Inhale. Exhale. Keep breathing. Keep finding space here. Work through that. Okay. Moving through. Inhale, exhale. And let's just go through this. I'm just going to start to take some layers out that no longer serve you, that you're ready to let go, that you're ready to release, that you're ready to move from these chapters of your life. Just take this out. Just take it out and let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. I'm gonna go back in and burn it some more. To take our cinnamon and just work through it some more. I'm going to do some Reiki symbols in order to activate our intention of transformation and change in the healing, the full healing process, the full healing process and movement through your shifts of energy. theme. And when you're ready to let a theme go, you actively choose not to respond in the same way that you always had. And in turn, you respond in better ways. That's how, if you want to change the external energy, it starts with those internal shifts. It starts with the core of you knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. Knowing. Knowing who you are. And guiding yourself in that direction. Guiding yourself in that direction. Guiding yourself in that direction. Being adaptable and ready for change, ready for shifts, ready for movements. But embracing the new chapter, the next chapter, the exciting chapter. Exciting. Moving through that. And finding that space, that place, that space, that place. Just working through that energy. Working through it. Working through it. again, inhale and exhale. Find your air. Find your breath here. Find your movement. Find your change. We're making slight changes in your energy so that you'll be receptive to changing in the direction that best suits you, sweetness. Change can be tough. It can require adaptability, changing environment, and moving on from an identity that you used to have. But change is also magical. All those big dreams you've always had, they were too big for the life that you were living before. So when you change your energy and you transform, you create a new energetic flow in which those dreams can then become a reality, become a reality, become a reality. And it's just as simple as that. So, babies, if you're new to the session, we start our session off with a prayer. It's not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission? Just say a prayer. Okay, may I touch you? Okay, inhale. Exhale. Final breath. Let's do it. Dear universe and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intention and validate information from our highest self only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am, Ashe. 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 So I'm going to get some cinnamon. Since we're sparking a transformation, cinnamon, is the healing herb of choice. Lovely in drinks as well. And we're just going to wash away anything that needs to be swept away, okay? So just begin by taking that, exhaling, and just letting go, sweetness. Just let go. Let the day go. Let the week go. Let the life go. Let the past go. Let it go. When you want to transform into a new direction, you have to let adjust in whatever way feels right for you to adjust. Adjusting takes time, takes patience, but it's possible. So just rubbing your aura back. You ever had somebody just rub your back or pat your back? The last time I really had somebody pat my back, I was 19, and I went to go visit my grandma, and I had to, sleep in the room with her. And I remember, the last time I had to sleep in the room with her, I was like a kid. So I kid you not, I went to sleep, and she pat my back to sleep. And I didn't tell her to stop. I was like, yeah, go ahead, keep patting my back. Because it's soothing, it's nurturing, it's loving. When someone loves you, someone wants you to be comforted. And it is comforting for them. So I hope that as I work with your energy, I give you grandma vibes of patting your back. Maybe mother vibes more than grandma vibes. But just so that you know, everything is going to be okay. So just working through that. Now let's begin to shift. Let's take this energy and begin to shift it. Shift it in a new direction. What does that mean? What does that look like? It means dreaming the impossible, making a plan, and actually going to do it. Because a lot of times the impossible feels impossible only because you're playing by someone else's rules. When you start to play by your own rules, create your own rules, the impossible becomes possible. So never limit yourself based off of other people's standards. Free yourself based off of your own. Just move that through. Opening the energy here. Creating a connection from yourself now to who you are destined to be. Connect with your energy, connect with yourself. What advice do you have? What inspiration? What secrets? What messages do you have for yourself that will change how you look at life right now? Clearing and cleansing out everything else. 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 And just go with it. Just go with it. Just job. Good job, good job. Just move this through and keep shifting, moving in the direction that works best for you. Best for you. Works best for you and finds movement and comfort and love in your growth where it needs to be. Sweetness. Just good job. Let's just keep this going, keep this energy going and flowing. Going and flowing here. Moving and grooving. And just going like that now. Connecting back into your highest self, your highest potential. A place for yourself. A place for yourself. Exhale and breathe. Inhale and move. Face yourself in the direction that you need to be faced in. And breathe into that. Feel what that life feels like. Lighter. Fuller. Space for growth and movement, and how you shift and how you change to become who you need to be in order to share your gifts with the world, in order to blossom and or bloom. Keep breathing here. Keep shifting your energy. Keep flowing in the direction of your highest growth and your highest good. And be patient. All you have to do is simply believe and take action. And you'll get there. It's that simple. Just a little bit more. Taking just a little bit more. Okay. Well, family, I hope you enjoyed our session today. I hope that this moment of sparking your transformation guides you in the direction of your true north and where your heart lies, where your inspiration grows, and where your gifts flow. Well, sweetness, I'm always here. I'm here like pretty much almost every day. So continue to come back and to take care of yourselves. But if nobody has told you this, let me go ahead and tell you this. I love you. But who cares that I love you? That doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is that you love you. So learning to love yourself a little bit more each and every day. Okay, you ready? Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and to embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that brings light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I Am, Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Okay, so I'm just going to start here. Are you ready for your next chapter, your next revolution, your next huge change within how you interact with yourself, the universe, and everything within it? Well, now's the time for that. You've been changing, growing, and shifting in a direction that is very different than what you've known. You honor that in different ways. You honor that from your excitement of moving on to the next level, your patience in the process of getting there, and a sense of knowing. It's like you've known that this moment was coming, and you are just making peace with the old life and preparing yourself for a bigger life. So just going in and working through your energy here. I want to tell you a story. And this story is about how when you think one thing defines you, makes you feel stuck, makes you feel less than, but realize it was those moments that propelled you in a new direction, a new trajectory. So, in this story, there is this really mighty warrior. We're not going to give the warrior a gender. We're just going to be gender neutral here, okay? So this mighty warrior protected all their people, okay? And the people were very grateful to this warrior. Now this warrior was a special warrior. This warrior just wasn't like everyone else. They had an energetic quality to them in which they defied all of the senses of the people that they protected and loved and things like that. So, during this time, there was this group of other people who wanted to come in and just take everything, okay? Now, there was a magician, and we'll use the term magician, okay? And so this magician saw that this other group was coming and saw the warrior. And instead of allowing the warrior to go and to remove those who were coming, the magician tricked the warrior. Let's not call the magician a magician. Let's call the magician a trickster. The trickster tricked the warrior, got the warrior very inebriated. And those came into that place and just took everything, changed everything. Now you have to imagine the people are wondering, how in the world did their warrior allow this to happen? Like, what in the world happened here? But as this whole thing changed and shifted, the trickster actually had something up its sleeve. What it did is the trickster knew, that's why I wanted to call this trickster a magician. The magician knew that this moment, this one defining moment, would change the trajectory of everything in front, everything going forward. And the trickster made a choice. What was best for the people? To continue to grow, evolve, and move in its cosmic destiny, or to stand still in the moment. And so, the magician or the trickster said, let's do this, we got this. So, flash forward the story of transformation. The story of transformation explains that not everything is what it appears to be. When we look in the universe, things aren't positive or negative. They just have different vibrational frequencies. And when we experience something of a lower vibrational frequency, it feels uncomfortable for us. And when we experience something of a higher vibrational frequency, it feels better to us. But all frequencies can be used, can be harnessed. We call this Aquarian energy. Aquarian energy is revolution, change, shifts by force, by sudden change. But it is those moments in which we pull ourselves closest to the future than ever. As we look at Aquarian energy, we also have this Piscean energy, which understands that we are growing and expanding in multiple ways, and that all ways lead us to where we are seeking to go. That there is no moment where you are out of control or where something defines you in a negative way, but yet each moment has built up to the motivation that you feel within you, the desire, the resilience, the persistence, and the consistency. All of these things make you you. All of these things have created a path forward for you. All of these things are here for you. But they also come with huge responsibilities. Are you ready to be a leader? Are you ready to shift and to change? Are you ready to stand there on your own, knowing that your power and your determination and your energy is enough to move history? Are you ready? It's okay if you take your time there, okay? But just know that everything that you experience and everything that you do has been preparing you for these moments and for this moment, and that you are ready. You have the ability to change and to shift all that is in front of you. All that is in front of you for your greatest good. But it starts by shifting your reality. Life isn't happening to you. You are co-creating the life you desire. People don't have the power over you. You define who enters your world internally and who doesn't. No one's opinion of you should matter more than yourself. We give away our power in little ways all the time because we forget how powerful we are. We're shifting back to remembering, waking up, opening up, and evolving as an energy. Because this physical body is just a vessel for the energy that lives on indefinitely. What do we know about atoms? Nothing ever really is destroyed. It is just restructured or repurposed. So we understand this about our energy. Our energy never is destroyed. It is just restructured or repurposed. So everything you do in this life impacts your energy. But you get to choose how you move and flow. You get to decide which direction is best for you. And your reality begins to change, shift, open up, become available to perspectives you have never known. sweetness, you got this. You have got this. Girl, I'm just going to continue to work through your energy here, moving it and flowing with it. And once you catch the flow, continue to shift the energy in the direction that works best for you. Continue to allow this energy to flow in a movement that works best for you. Everything that is taking you in the direction that you need to go in, moving you in a way that works best for you, accepting all of this great energy, all of this shift, all this movement, that you are in control, that you are powerful, that you define this moment in time, that you make shifts in history. I actually used to say this a couple years ago. I used to say that uncertain times are the most powerful times, because it is during those times that the gatekeepers are distracted, so you're able to grow whatever it is that you want to grow, as long as you can remain focused in what it is that is important to you. Are you able to remain focused in what is important to you? And can you move your energy in that direction? It is amazing what happens when you remove your distractions and flow in the direction that is best for you. Flow in the direction that is best for you. Flow in the direction that is best for you. Flow in the direction that is best for you. Feel a lot more free in general, so I just want to give you that little bit of tea to put on you before we get started in the session. So if you're new to the community, welcome, 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 babies. This is your nightly self-care routine. So babies, you do whatever it is you need to do. Sometimes people like to do creative things and they like to use it to help them focus and study and things like that, or just relax and enjoy the actual session itself. So this is your time. It is a part of your self-care journey. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And for all my babies returning, welcome back. Mama loves you. If you would like extra support, you can join us on the Patreon community, and there's some fun stuff too, like the weekly moon cycle readings on a Reiki Tarot, the podcast Organize Your Purpose, and Reiki Healing Hope Speaks. Have you all noticed that? Which is non-ASMR Reiki. So if you'd like to share it with your friends who are not into ASMR, or you would like to, talk about these things and not always hear me whisper, that's great for that. And all the other stuff, like you can listen to these sessions on Spotify and Apple Music and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. So, as we start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as community. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Beautiful. May I touch you? Lovely. Okay, take a couple breaths here. Breathe into this. Okay. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I Am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So let your Ashe or your Chi or your life force energy, these are different examples across the different traditions to explain this vital energy that we have within us. So let as something that looks like an illness or a sickness, or in general just not feeling well. And it's really working to kind of go backwards and figure out how to piece together a place of alignment within the body. So you can see a practitioner like me, or you can work on yourself. And I think that's even more beautiful, being able to work on yourself. And this is what this self-care journey and self-care community is all about. So now we are today going to be embracing the change. So I'm going to be working on your energy. You know, I do talk a lot because I like to talk, okay? And typically I'll talk you through it while I'm working on your energy too. So as we work through embracing this change, this gives you definitely an opportunity to reflect on your year. How'd it go, baby? How'd it go, sweetheart? How did the year go? What did you discover? What did you learn? It was very much so a reorganizing of the energy, a recalibrating, something that should have happened a long time ago. Some path that had been derailed or stuck had been reshuffled and recentered. So wherever you're at is exactly where you're supposed to be at. It's actually where you were supposed to be at before. And the universe reorganized the energy in a way so that you would get there regardless of what decisions you made. I often see people very nervous to make the wrong decision. I don't want to make the mistake. Let me tell you something. There's no mistake. There's no wrong decision. You're going to get there regardless. And if you like really fuck this shit up, the universe will reorganize it and get you there anyway. Okay, so don't worry about having to know all the answers or everything having to be perfect. Just go with it. Go with it and flow with it. It's much more exciting to learn and to grow during times where you don't know anything about anything. Because that's when you're the most open and the most vulnerable and the most receptive to actually growing, instead of just trying to be the same person you've always been. You feel me? Okay. So I want you to breathe through this energy here and take a couple of moments. And I'm just going to move through maybe some stagnant energy that is around you. Me and my sister Refocus, definitely check out our session that just came out on Refocus's channel, REPOCUS. We did a deck review, as well as she came on a Ray Tarot. We did the weekly moon cycles. We were talking about when we are channeling, or when we are using our intuitive skills, or we're going and doing different kinds of practices, even going into spell work and things like that, you know, to be mindful of the energy around you. And she explained it in one way and I explained it in another way, and we went into depth on the Patreon community. So if that's something you're interested in hearing about, you can head on over there to listen to the full session. But as we talked about these things, it just reminded me of how so many times people are not aware of the energy they're vibrating at or what is around them. Now, when you're new to the healing community, when you're new to the mystical or esoteric space, or if you're very superstitious, you might be driven with fear. Like, oh my gosh, something's out there, I'm afraid. But it's not like that. That's not really how things work. Really how things work is everything is always there at all times, okay? And things are vibrating at different levels, and it's like being in a crowd of people. You aren't talking to everybody. You choose who you have a conversation with, right? And everyone isn't trying to talk to you at the same time. They are having conversations with other people as well too. So think about it like that. Who you choose to have your conversation with is who engages you back. But if you don't know who to have a conversation with and you're like tapping on everybody's shoulders, it starts all of these things, with great power comes great responsibility, and everyone has access to this stuff. It's just really deciding, if you want to do the work to learn what it feels like and how to utilize these things for yourself to help you along this journey, and what that looks like. There's so many times where I'll meet people and I can tell, especially people who are not in these kind of mystical communities, I can see what's going on with them and I can see how they're in their own way, but I know that they're not in touch with themselves energetically to understand how to derail their patterns. And you don't have to be mystical or spiritual to be able to break a pattern. You just have to break a pattern. But when you start to understand what's happening, and it doesn't have to be in a mystical way, you can do it through common sense too. Common sense, I'm telling you, common sense is underrated because it'll take you far in life, baby. It really will. Even with common sense, you could say no. I say no to what's not working for me, and I say yes to things that are working for me. That's what the change is about. That's how you embrace, baby, sweetness, what works for you. That's all it is. Just say no to what's not and say yes to what is. But here's the thing. When you're so used to something, you're so used to a pattern, what's not working for you is familiar. So you'll confuse yourself and think that it is home or it is the right way. No. Your life isn't just happening to you. You're going through life and you're co-creating the life you want. So when you break a pattern, you gotta be able to say no and start saying yes to the things that are better for you, even if they feel like in the moment, like, ooh, this is scary. Which it'll look like that because you don't know. Whenever you don't know how something is going to turn out or how it's going to end, it could be scary. But that's where growth happens. That's where healing happens. That's where manifesting happens. So within this community and a lot of the things that we talk about and we work through, or if you're just simply enjoying the session, it helps to guide you on this path of co-creating your life. Life isn't happening to you. You co-create it. Even this life now, you're co-creating it. It's not just happening to you. You're not a victim. You're not in a position where, other people, it'll work out for them and it's not going to work out for you. No, that's not true. You create whatever reality. So if that's what you think, that's what you'll be at. But if you think whatever life that I want will be, if I believe in this life, internally, eventually, externally, it will show up. That's really how it works. And you know what? Look, let me tell you, it ain't that complicated. Common sense is underrated. Hard work and determination. Literally just having those two, you don't even have to work in the energetic way at all. But sometimes using these energetic principles helps us understand what's going on, especially when you hit a difficult time where it's like the heartbreak of transitioning on and letting something go. Whether it is an old hobby, an old passion, you're leaving a hometown, you're letting people go, you're moving away from your old sense of identity. That could be painful, but the pain isn't telling you to go backwards. It's just letting you know. It eventually becomes bittersweet. This is the process. This is how you know that those people, situations, circumstances were important at a time, but now you're going on to something bigger and greater and more expansive. So the pain is simply just a validation to say that whatever that was mattered. But that's not a good enough reason to stop yourself from going and propelling forward. Does that make sense? These are the concepts, babies. These are the concepts. So breathing through this. Now I want you to just go through some breaths and go through your chakra system all the way from the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacrum, root. Let it go. around you as well. Let's cleanse that out. Just this beautiful cleansing energy flowing through the body, flowing through it, and embracing your next chapter, embracing your change that's showing up. And even if it's tough, finding the glimmer of hope or the glimmer of light somewhere in that energy and holding on to it. And just breathing through that energy. Breathing through that energy. Breathing through that energy. And resting and letting it be. And allowing that to fill up those spaces in your energy and your heart. And just allow it to rest and be what it is. Rest and be what it is. Rest and be what it is. Breathing in and out and moving through that, embracing this lovely energy and flowing and floating through it, knowing that the change is important, is patient, is nurturing, is kind, is persistent, and things take time. 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 They take time to heal. They take time to grow. And my favorite, which is taking time for clarity. That's my favorite. All of that matters, and all of that growth is there for you at any time and any moment. Well, family, you did a fantabulous job per usuals, and really sitting with this energy of embracing this change that's floating around you. Quick little reminder, like I was talking about, that Venus and Capricorn retrograde energy happening on December 19th. We're already in the pre-shadow period, so like you're already starting to feel it. On a Ray Tarot, I called it the season of the X's, but it's really not about that. It's really about these big concepts that we're talking about, like, the conversation of what is marriage, right? You know what I'm trying to say? So like, is the structure of marriage something that we should allow to be the same? Should we redefine partnerships? Like these big macro view conversations of things. Also, it is bringing out the energy of like a decade of the way that you have loved it coming to an end. So you're embracing a new wave of love, and you're letting go of that old wave. And it really is about kind of like that bittersweet stuff of like being able to say, okay, bye, this is not working anymore. Embracing this new thing that even though you don't know how it'll work out, it'll work for you. So that's the energy coming up. Also, join the giveaway. This is Let's Celebrate December. I do the annual giveaway. You could win an energy manifesting session with me. This is taking your life to the next level. Whatever it is that you want to be able to accomplish and supercharge your life to go, grow, and go and be in, we will work on that. So one person, December 28th, could win that. If you would like to win a spot in the 2022 Reiki Master Teacher Cohort, you can do so in the Patreon community. You just answer the same question over there. Again, the value of these things, hey, it's, look, welcome, 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 welcome. This is your nightly self-care routine for all my returning babies. Love you, love you, love you. Mama loves you. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. We start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It is a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay. May I touch you? Okay. Breathe in and out. Relax. Take one more breath. Okay, let's begin. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. So just rest in this moment. Relax in this moment. Find peace in this moment. And just exhale. Things are shifting vibrationally. It's not going to be the same. But you already know that shift has been coming. You might have wanted that shift to come a long time ago. But it's now right around the corner. And that vibrational shift will give you the opportunity to change for your greatest good. So those goals that you have, those gifts, those dreams, they come to be. But they can only come to be if you shift, if you change, if you meet them, rather than expecting them to meet you. Don't expect your gifts to lower its vibrational frequency to meet you. Instead, raise your vibrational frequency to meet it. So let's just work through some of this energy. And just breathing in and out. And remembering everything that you love. And let's just pay some respect and smile at all of the life cycles that we have and that we've been through. You know, it is beautiful to be a child. It's beautiful to be a baby. It's beautiful to be a teenager. Beautiful to be an adult. Beautiful to be a senior. And beautiful to transition on to our next evolutionary path many, many years later, okay? All of that is very, very beautiful. You know, don't feel like you missed something somewhere. It was a beautiful experience. And now you're at a position to actually appreciate the beauty. And I give it from the perspective of Pluto. We know that Pluto rules Scorpio. And Pluto going into an Aquarius kind of energy reminds us that even in our deepest pain, there is a beauty in the fact that we were strong enough to get to the other side. Even in the saddest moments, we understand that healing came from hard times. Even when we maybe aren't as optimistic as we would like to be, we know that you can learn from things going well, and you can learn from things that are tough. But if you learn how to master the lesson, and not the lesson from the perspective of punishment, but just the lesson of living a better life, having better happiness, from the way that people didn't those situations. It's the things that make us feel uncomfortable. You know, you put your hand on the stove, oh, you burn your hand, which you move that thing very quickly. But say the stove is very comfortable, you might leisurely take it up. But what really gets you to your end goal, or more, what gets you to your vibrational path? You know, it doesn't matter either or, but you get to live a whole lot more of life when you have to go through something. And then you realize you are in power to co-create any life that you want. And then you start to proactively make moves so that life doesn't have to encourage you to do it. You just start doing it already. And transforming and change, it's all about deciding to go on a new path even before you're ready. Deciding to go on a new path in a new direction. I'm going to ask you, feel free to use the comment section to share. How has this been going for you? What have you been doing to connect energetically with that feeling that your greatest goal or your greatest dream would give you if it was accomplished? How do you breathe into that? How do you accept that energy for what it is? How do you release and let go of the things that do not serve you and do not work, and yet embrace all of those things that do work? All of those little moments, those little glimpses that life gives you of beauty. Just because you're born into, or you may be surrounded by something that you don't like you're like, I want so much more for myself, doesn't mean the universe doesn't send little glimpses of something beautiful during the process, always giving you an opportunity to hop into that beauty. And the people around you may not see it, only you can see it. You might tell them like, hey, look at that. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because they're not ready to see it. And what I'm talking about are opportunities. I felt like I was being very mystical. I was like, I'm talking about opportunities. I love how the universe works. You can manifest something into your life and realize that the difference between you getting it and you not getting it was just simply seeing the opportunities that were already in your face, or understanding that you can piece together anything that is out there to get to where you need to go. If people aren't ready for that change, that growth, they might expect things to look a certain way, and they may miss out on their opportunities, on their next step. So what do you notice that is appearing in your life for these opportunities? What do you notice? What do you see? What do you notice? What do you see? What do you notice? What do you see? Have you taken any action on any Yes, especially when it comes to relationships. Just the highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows and highs and lows. And it's funny because sometimes people feel like when they're not ready to be at peace, they might describe someone else as, oh, that person is boring. And it might not even be that the person is boring. It might be that they're so used to the ups and downs that they assume that that is the norm, instead of realizing that they don't gotta be running off of adrenaline all the time, and that one day they will value that peace. I'm telling you, peace is priority. Okay, I don't think the ups and downs are cute. I will take peace any day, but sometimes it's hard for people to enjoy life because everything they see around them is that, and it's hard to work against that, especially if you feel like you have to keep on coming into contact with others who are just you see it definitely in work too. People in work be having like weird situations. You know, it's funny when you look at working environments because you know most of the time you would not be friends with these people in real life. Or like, what is the scenario that you would let this person lead you, who is your manager? But this is what I noticed about middle management. They're all stressed out. They're all stressed out. And oftentimes you will see their parenting style, or how they wanted to be parented, or what, you know, like you'll see those dynamics in the way that they lead you. I'm not even gonna say the leadership style. I'm gonna say the parenting style. I've seen adults throw temper tantrums because they're in a position of power, and they also know that if people put them in a position of like middle management power, but at the same time they don't feel valuable because they feel replaceable, that same energy, unless they are strong enough to break that cycle and make those underneath them, or those that they are managing, make them feel supported, that's just going to come down and trickle down to them, and nothing's really going to happen from it. Not to go on a work tangent, but it happens. I wouldn't be surprised if those kind of themes are popping up now. I had a director one time. She was something else. She could start crying at like the drop of a hat, and then quickly switch to like being irritated by something. She yelled at me one time for something that had to do with paper, right? And so when it comes to me, you know, I should have told her off, but instead I just embarrassed her. She was just getting all flustered, and I was like, the paper's in the room, blah 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 blah. She's like all over the place. I'm like, the paper will still be in the room.
long hair. I literally wasn't an adult until I realized what they were talking about. And I was just like, these people are weird. They're weirdos. Why are they talking about somebody having long hair? They do not even have long hair. But it's just that I guess the air about them. And now that I look back, I wonder, were these people that they were talking about, did they just have confidence? Were they just doing things that were different? A lot of times I think that they were kind of poking fun of people who were insecure but felt like they had to be overly aggressive or overly rude. And I think it was less about setting boundaries and more about like feeling like having to control something outside of yourself. I think that's what they were making fun of. Anyway, long story short, I love when old people talk shit. I love it. I love it because it's like it's guilt-free, you know. Not really if they're being discriminatory, but like just little shady things like your shoes look horrible. Oh my gosh. If an older person told me that my shoes look horrible, I would bust out laughing. I don't know why. That's just me. Look, you learn a little bit more about myself. I'm going on a tangent. My grandmother, not the grandmother I was talking about, my mom's American mom, she would talk trash about somebody up and down. She could just embarrass someone, and I'll never forget the way that she would just read, like she would read them. This like the saying, read them for filth. She would read them. She would read a situation. And I just remember also being a child and just thinking it was the funniest thing ever. Because you wouldn't expect her to do it. But she could embarrass the mess out of you. And one time, she was coming to pick me up. And I like lived in like an attic, right? And she came all the way up the stairs. And her name is Jet too. And she said, Jet, come on, we gotta go. I said, what we gotta go for? She said, I done ran my mouth. We gotta get out of here. And so those moments, I said, oh, okay, well, let me get my keys. We gotta get out of here. So I say all of that to say, I don't know what that has to do with change, but you know, I'm paid in smiles, so hopefully this story brought some nostalgia or it just made you feel good, you know. But family, we hung out today. We did a little chit chat today. This was really cute and funny. Cute little story time. But with all of these dreams and these goals, I don't ever want you to confuse setting boundaries and telling people no with, you know, if somebody questions you, that it's like, what do you do with that? If you set boundaries and tell people no, like, that's completely fine, you know. And creating those boundaries help you to set up the foundation of change to transform. There are many times when I have like goals that I personally want to go after, but I also understand that the energy around me when it comes to other people may not be at the same place as me. So sometimes I will have some self-care with just me, myself, and I in order to create the energetic environment I need to support what I need to do. And once I get it going and get a routine, then I can come back with other people, because I know that what's in my heart, what's been, you know, pulled out from me is something that is so important that I don't want to play around. I just want to get straight to it. And that's just knowing yourself. And people will love you anyway. And if they don't love you, then you don't need them in your life. I'm just keeping it real. You don't need them in your life. And it'll make room for so many more people who are actually loving and caring and supportive of you. And when your friends have boundaries, and when your family has boundaries, and when your love has boundaries, you can only blossom and or bloom. And people love people with boundaries. Why? Mother, Father, God, and all for the highest vibrational good only. Please connect us to our highest intentions and validate information from our highest self only. Please release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So, just relaxing into that. And let's talk about Uranus. Now, Uranus rules the sign Aquarius. Uranus is one of those outer planets that before high-powered microscopes we could not see past Saturn with the, naked eye. And because of that, in the beginning, all of the signs were assigned to 2 signs to each planet except for Leo, which was the sun, and Cancer, which is the moon. Everything else was assigned to 2 signs to a planet. And we still have that today if you look at Mercury, where Mercury has both Virgo and Gemini. Now, Uranus took on Aquarius. Aquarius actually is traditionally ruled by Saturn, and you can see that whereas Saturn, Capricorn is the old and Aquarius is the new, but it's everything of the discipline, the consistency, and the pushing forward of what you want. Now, with Uranus is all about the revolution, shock and awe, and it just has a no-nonsense approach to we're getting there. I think the best way to explain Uranus would be when we see social justice issues and we think to ourselves, like, that's so crazy that this is still happening today. And then you think to yourself, there's no reason why this should still happen today. But the old energy that is, it's just the norm, the hegemonic way of things going says, well, this is how it's always been. But Uranus says, who cares? Who gives a fuck? Just because it's always been that way does not mean it is okay for it to stay that way. We change it now, okay? And you saw that a lot these last couple of years, people really resisting the change of equity, unfortunately. So Uranus brings that within the energy. Historically, you see a lot of revolutions that are happening during that time. You see a lot of revolts, and the revolt is always from the population. It's never from a hierarchical standpoint. It's always from the social infrastructure wanting to kind of equal out the playing field. So that's Uranus. So shock and awe, revolution. It's like shaking something up, like we growing now, we get in there now, we doing that now. That's that Uranus. Now, Uranus and Taurus is actually really interesting. I want to say maybe like 2 years ago, I was talking about this a lot. As soon as it went into Taurus, I was like telling everybody, like, hey, be mindful. So in a very general way, some of the common themes that have come up during this time, it has everything to do with money. The volatility of cryptocurrency is definitely seen through Uranus and Taurus, because the last time Uranus was in Taurus, we had the Great Depression. And to explain that, prior to the Great Depression, it was the first time in U.S. history in which you had consumer-based credit cards. While you could prior to that get a line of credit, the accessibility of this Uranus and Aries, in which credit became completely available and it was very showy and all that stuff, led to the crash of the stock market, because people were not able to pay back that, or you buy based off of credit, but that doesn't mean you actually spent any money on it. And so Uranus and Taurus had everything to do with the shock and awe of practicality. Now today, the difference is Uranus and Taurus Taurus. So by the end of this transit, which will be 2026, we'll be using cryptocurrency. You know, right now we're trying to see which one, you know, will win. You know, which one will win, or how will things be regulated, because the whole idea is a monetary system that isn't regulated. So those are a lot of like Taurus kind of themes. But in general, when it comes to your actual healing, your everyday life, Uranus in Taurus has everything to do with self-worth. When Uranus in Taurus is direct, it is about your self-worth, you know, your personal possessions, how much you're worth. Because a person who is worth a lot, or they are very mindful and practical with their money, they're going to be very serious about their money. They're not just going to spend it on anything. They care about, you know, keeping their value. And when that goes into retrograde, it's all about the self-worth. How do you feel about yourself? Disconnecting from the external things. When you look inside, how do you feel about yourself? Because you can have a lot of self-worth on the outside, but on the inside, if you do not have that self-worth, you will forever be chasing something you will never be able to get. So those retrograde periods are beautiful times in which we can fill ourselves up here. Also, it's kind of like a life hack, because if you can get yourself balanced in here during those retrograde periods, the money flows after, simply because you are vibrating at a frequency that is best for you and greatest for your highest vibrational good. You are removing all of those internal obstacles in order to attract into your life what it is that you're looking for. So everything about self-worth. And so if you happen to be very critical of yourself, if you happen to have had like a lot of kind of fucked up shit happen to you in your life, and you might think less of yourself unconsciously, maybe consciously you're like, you know, you did your best, but subconsciously it's a little bit tough for you. These are always opportunities for you to go and review and just be super sweet to yourself, super understanding, and correct that change. Because whenever you're correcting a habit, it is not easy. It feels foreign. It feels like, oh, I've never done this before, and that's the point. You do not want to be an autopilot your entire life, because a lot of the things that you learned early on, you know, you get stuck there, and some of it not so great. Not so great. So feel free to kind of rejuvenate the self as you go through it. So as I said, Uranus entered into Taurus 2018, and it's going to be there until 2026. Uranus will be going into retrograde in Taurus in August 18th, 2021 to January 22, 2022. So pretty much, you know, a little bit less than half a year. And again, I want you all to think of these retrograde periods as beautiful times. There's so many times that I see people just folding, you know, occasionally myself included, because, you know, those Mercuries be hitting me hard because I'm Mercury ruled. But like, so many times I see people just folding under the retrograde. I don't want this, I don't want this. You don't want to take the time to go in and make sure that you're okay. You don't want to check in with yourself. Sweetheart, if you don't check in with yourself, ain't nobody else gonna do it. You want to be out here chasing dreams and goals that maybe are not for your best, maybe might be built out of insecurity or built out of doubt. No, you want to clear and cleanse that shit out, and you want to be chasing what it is that you feel like God, the universe, source, or whatever it is you believe in has you here to do. So, you know, embrace that, especially with Uranus. Uranus is like, come on, let's do this. You know, we about to do the damn thing. So that's the energy you should definitely keep in mind as you are going in top of Uranus and Capricorn. Uranus and Taurus will share a vibrational frequency because it's an earth element. It's not necessarily the enterprising aspect of Capricorn. It's more of like the self practicality. But it being in the fourth house versus the second house is your self-worth, whereas the fourth house has everything to do with family. So it's going to be transiting things that have to do with your family. So understanding your natural disposition to the to your Uranus in the house and there. So I hope it doesn't make it way too complicated. I've definitely been interested in astrology for a very long time. It was kind of the first modality that I really took to, and what I learned is that to this date there's still a lot of shit that confuses me, and the reason why is because sometimes we forget that in astrology there are so many astrological systems you see yourself, so you might feel like, oh my gosh, having like a whole identity crisis, and that's the things that come up there. So that's that Uranus energy, baby. That's that Uranus energy. It is all about this new chapter. A new chapter has revealed itself, and we are working through it, or you and I, and the pie. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but it sounded more cute in my head. Anyway, so if you're new, welcome, babies. This is your nightly self-care routine, a place where you chill, relax, do your thing, your self-care stuff. So you can listen to the healing and participate. You can fall asleep, or you can just set this time aside to take care of yourself, okay? Boom, boom, bam. So there's that part. So welcome, all of my new babies, and welcome back, all of my returning babies. Mama loves you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We start our session off with a prayer. It is not a religious prayer. It's just a prayer to root us in our individual healing experience and bring us together as a community and as a collective. And because consent matters, do I have your permission to say a prayer? Okay, you ready? May I touch you? Okay, just relax here. Take a deep breath. Dear universe, and all for the highest vibrational good only, please connect us to our highest self and validate information for our highest good only. Please allow us to release what we need to let go and embrace what allows us to grow. Let our journey encompass the lineages, traditions, religions, and spiritual paths that bring light out through us to share with others. I say all of this in the name of I am. Ashe. Ashe, Ashe. Okay. So, this new chapter, this next chapter, we all feel this change. I talked about this last week, where there was this cycle that began around 2015, 2016, and it's almost like you were transported into an alternate reality, right? You're still the same person, but it's just like life was flipped upside down, and things just kept getting weirder and weirder and differenter. And then finally you learned how to acclimate, and there was something in this experience that you needed to learn. A part of the process, just giving you some cleansing with some cinnamon. There was something that you needed to learn, that your soul needed to learn, in order to be able to move forward in your next evolutionary path. Something that only that, or those situations over those years, would uncover. Now you're on the other side. Now you're on the side where you're being placed back into this path, okay? And so you're back into the path that you need to be on. But it's almost like, wait a minute, is another shoe gonna drop? You're like, what? Back on the... But rest assured, you can trust it. Yes. So you gotta take this moment to really evaluate, what did you need to learn? What did you learn? Not what did you need to learn, but what did you learn? And how can you apply it now? You're smarter. You're wiser. More persistent. More patience. Just a more evolved sense of understanding. And because you have all of those things, you now can get back on your course and have the tools to get to the next level. Some people will stay where they're at. They won't use what they learned, but others will. And you get to decide what you're going to be. If you're going to be this or that, this or that or this or that. So breathing in. And let's just make it abundantly clear during our session today what that is for you, okay? So allow this energy healing session to open you up and to reveal information to yourself that is pertinent and appropriate and specific for you, to help you in your path, to help you as you are going forward in this new chapter. First of all, to protect you, to place protection over you, but to reveal your power. There is so much power that lives within you. You decide what you want your reality to be. And so many of us are living our own individual realities, whether that is, kind of things that maybe are more satisfying or things that are not so satisfying, because we just kind of let our mind, our feeling, our energy, we just are not as accountable to it. We think life is just happening to us versus we are co-creating this life. And so all of these situations are letting you know that over those years, from that 2015 on to now, you had the power within you to create a different outcome. But it was through going through those trials that you realized you had that power. You didn't even know you had it before. Seeking things outside of you to heal you, seeking things outside of you to manifest for you, seeking things outside of you to give you the answers. They were always there. And it took those difficult times for you to realize, oh, I'm going to trust what's happening on the inside. I'm going to trust myself. And that's what led you out. That's what got you to where you need to be today. Now it's time to take all of that and make something. Live out your purpose. And so let's remove anything here that stands in the way of that clarity. And a lot of times we externalize this as somebody, some people, some things, some situation, when a lot of times it's us. We have these roadblocks in front of us because we have been conditioned to think that for us to get what we want, we have to work hard, or for us to get what we want, it has to be uncomfortable, because that's what the brain does when it goes through difficult times in life. It rationalizes it. Oh, in order to get to this safe place, I had to go through this uncomfortable X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. When that's not necessarily the case. The case is when you're younger, you're kind of under the protection of other people, and if they're not, mindful, they can lead you down a direction of thinking in a certain way or living out in a way that is not to your highest vibrational good. But at the end of the day, when you realize this control you have, when you refocus yourself for the power that you have, then you create whatever you want. You create the reality that you want. And some things that we want and that we ask for are really not that necessary for what we truly want. Say you just want to be loved. Love comes in all kinds of ways. Love can come from parent-child. Love can come from peers and family. Love, most importantly, can come from self. So you can receive the greatest amount of unconditional love from yourself. And you may have thought that you needed that to come from somebody else. And so just realize that what you want is always in, hand's reach or right in front of you. But you can have other experiences too. Like if the thing is the love, and you realize that the greatest amount of love actually can come from yourself. Don't feel like now you can't have love from a significant other. On the contrary, now that you learned how to love yourself unconditionally, that's when someone can come in and love you in the ways that are appropriate and have healthy boundaries and things like that. You get so much more. So as I'm sending you off, like a good mother does, on your next chapter in life, just know you have it all within you. You have everything that you need to know, everything that you need to grow within you. It's there. You don't have to go seeking and searching. You know the exact answers. You have that within you. So just take this moment to connect to source energy, to God, the universe, whatever you believe in. I tell you this all the time. That's your business. You gotta figure out what you believe in. That's not my job. I know what I believe in, and that's my business. And you gotta figure out your business too. But whatever that thing is, connect to that energy and bring it all the way down. And feel this trust, this safe trust. Feel safety in this trust here, okay? Breathing in and out. Feel safety here, okay? reveal to yourself why it was important for you to experience this journey, this leg of a trip that you just had. And be very honest and real with yourself. And how can you use what you have learned on this next voyage? You're not the same person, and for good reason. You're not the same person anymore. So leave that old you behind. Make peace. There are different versions of you at different stages. And when you were a little kid, there was that version of you. And then when you became a teenager, there was that version of you. And then when you first entered into adulthood, there was that version of you. And then when you became a little bit older, that's that version. And then it just keeps going and going and going on and on and on. You're making peace with that version of you that is ready to retire. And now you are a new, more evolved you. A person with different goals, dreams, and ambitions than you had before. A person who can see bigger than where you were before. That's where you're walking now. So align yourself with what is important to you. Align yourself with what truly is your purpose. And get out of your own way. And there's all these little micro lessons that happen in the doing of the work. But the big picture, the big lesson here, is that if you want it, you can have it. So make peace there first. And if you want something, you gotta want it for the right reasons. Little micro lessons in there too. So if you want something for the right reasons, you can have it. The universe will co-create with you to make that happen. But you are the captain. You don't just say, oh, universe, God, please give me this. And then you just wait for that to happen. No, you say, universe, God, whatever you believe in or don't believe in, that's your business. I'm going to go do this. That's it. I'm going to go do this. And the universe can do nothing but pour energy on you, pour cleansing, pour protection, pour gratitude on you. You simply say, I'm going to do this. And that is how the universe works. But again, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's always the little micro lessons in there. You feel super confident, but maybe you have to work on codependency with people. You feel super confident, but maybe you have to work on self-sabotaging and working through that. So there's micro lessons, but today we're working on the big lesson. And just being ready to move on to this next chapter, or as I like to say, this next iteration of you. Keep breathing here. Keep breathing. So just cleansing you and just bringing this protection on you. Universe, bring in this energy to protect them, to ground them, to give them the answers that they seek, to surround them with the resources that they need. Allow them to live out their purpose. Allow them to feel strong enough to face any setbacks that may happen. Allow them to live again. Allow them to have strength and wisdom in every moment. And allow them the peace to enjoy this experience that is life. Bringing that through. Cleansing, cleansing, cleansing. Changing the mindset, shifting the mindset. There are things we can do every day that reinforce sessions, like eating right for our particular body, establishing healthy relationships with people, exerting boundaries and removing ourselves from situations, circumstances, and individuals that no longer work for us, and always knowing that the power is in our hands. Do not give your power away. So tell me what you're going to do. Whatever you want, tell me what you're going to do. Tell me now. Tell me what you're going to do. And allow the universe to just rain cleansing, protection, energy, and fuel for you in that path. Tell me what you're going to do. Tell me what you're going to do. And go and do it. Go and do it. Well, now I'm going to smooth over your aura and seal you with the sign of the infinity and say, you're doing a good job. This is a new chapter in your life, and that's really exciting. So don't confuse new or different with fear. And a lot of those micro lessons have to do with the deprogramming of yourself. You know, there's a lot of things that we feel like are natural and normal and might just be the way things are. And really, actually, what's happening is they're just habits and energetic cycles that we learned. Some of them can be karmic. Some of them can be early life. Some of them can be new and just learned stuff. But regardless of what that is, you have the ability within you to learn new. So sometimes you gotta work through the survivor's remorse of things. Sometimes you gotta work through the unconditional faith within yourself and trust to believe it before you see it. And other times you gotta work through accepting when you are being rewarded. Because sometimes your reward comes when others may not be rewarded. Sometimes people aren't happy for you when you're rewarded. Or sometimes you don't know how to be happy for you when you're rewarded. It has nothing to do with anybody else. You deserve those rewards. You deserve to be on your path. You deserve to bring into purpose what your soul brought into this life. So get to doing the work. Okay, babies. Well, go to sleep. Go about your day. Do what you do when you're doing what you're doing. I'm gonna be here, chilling, relaxing, in a good book, magazine, journal article, random documentary. You know me. Anyway, so if no one has said it, let me go and say it. I love you, but who cares that I love you? The only thing that matters is that you love you. Okay, so I will see you